Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We're still reeling from the Devers trade, and now we got to look into more of this action because that's what's coming up the next month and a half. Let's talk trades. Felix Bautista. Stopped it. Stopped the splitter. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Talkin 2025. I am Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe. Rob Scirocco is here producing. We are grinding. I almost said the word dog days. No, summer hasn't even fully launched. We had Trev's birthday. We had the big trade that's now bringing us into the summer, and I'm excited to talk some potential. And my original days of podcasting, Trev, 2017, 2018, one of my favorite things was discovering something like, oh, shoot, that guy's a perfect match with this team. I think we're going to have some good discoveries today and play some early matchmaker before the trade season. How are you doing, big dog?
I'm doing well. I'm all about matchmaking, whether that's in love, in life, or with Major League Baseball teams. I do think there is a ton of stuff that makes sense this year, probably more so than any previous years. There are some teams that have a lot of guys with expiring contracts that would look nice in a different uniform. And the fact, Jake, that we already had what will end up probably being the biggest trade of the year has already happened, I think just got the juices going a little bit. You know, Poppy's feeling real H'd up right now, if you know what I mean.
Hey, maybe, all right. Hey, maybe maybe the Devers trade, you know, Trev, sometimes we talk about alcohol consumption on this program. And, you know, sometimes one or two can loosen you up a little bit. Maybe the Devers trade kind of loosens up the other GM's backs a little bit. Like, hey, we're not going to outshine that.
I have the opposite take there. I think there's some things that are tightening up.
You think
you know what I mean?
You think downstairs got a little clenched. It's been funny going through some of the articles that have come out since the Devers trade and the different executives and different opinions. And hey, I'll say this, it's really all over the board. A lot of the, I don't want to say nerds, but a lot of the baseball GMs, it feels like, hey, from the front office perspective, getting off of that contract and getting some players back with the flexibility. Why are you shaking your head like that?
I mean, it's a great impression of a front office voice right there.
Thank you.
I still talk to GMs, you know, semi-regularly, and is 100% the way that they think. And here I am being like, it ain't your money, bro.
Right. Yeah, and that was, of all the quotes and things that were out there, I think there was a manager's quote from a Britt Garoli article in The Athletic.
Shout out Britt.
I think Katie Woo was featured. It was kind of like, okay, so we're just putting the all-star team here. And I think it was an NL manager that was just like, it's not good. They traded away a top 10 hitter, and Boston shouldn't need financial flexibility. They're the Red Sox. Anyways,
wait, before we start this,
sure.
Because it's still a big topic in baseball. You had a few, like 24 hours or a little bit longer than that to let this marinate. Like, do you have a change of opinion or anything new on the Devers deal to the Giants? Because there's been quotes. Big Poppy came out and said that Devers never texted him back.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
There's still a Devers side to this that we don't have fully flushed out. Like, okay, what if Devers shows up to San Francisco and says, I'm never playing first base? Like, all of our opinions are going to start to change a little more on Devers. I think for sports, like right now, Craig Breslow's in the ringer where people are like, ooh, there's different rumors about his opinion and he doesn't have a gentle touch. Guess what? If the Red Sox win the East the next 3 years, they're going to talk about him like he's a genius. Like, you know who didn't have a gentle touch? Bill Belichick. But they won every year, so everyone was like, oh, he's a genius. He's amazing. Sports fans care about winning. So if Breslow's not the friendliest cat, but the Red Sox are winning, he'll be a hero. So I just still think if you're the Red Sox and you're trying to win games, if this tension never happened, Devers would have never been traded. And again, Devers might have been a problem for the tension.
That is a problem.
Right.
If you truly believe he traded him out of spite because the strained relationship, that is... I mean, Buster Olney called me soft one time. I don't even remember that. Like, I need to smack Buster Olney, don't I? I still owe him one. Just kidding, Buster. But maybe
not a smack. Smacks are out, but I would say
firm handshake,
or maybe
hold it a little. That's what I'm gonna do. Firm handshake and just hold it just a little longer than I need.
Yeah, and I would say the word soft. I was gonna say like give him a hug and just kind of like give that scary squeeze for a second. There's that like, wait, he's kind of got me.
I take back smacking Buster.
No, don't, please don't.
I got a little mad right
Don't
there.
aggregate that.
My thought on this, and I just kind of redid it. I had Jolly Olive on Baseball Today with me, and we talked a little bit more about it. My thought was, where were the Mariners? Where were the Mariners during this discussion? Because you know what they could have used?
Yeah, Rafael
Devers in their freaking organization.
Well, Trev, there's another side to this that apparently he didn't get fully shopped, that there was like the Giants and I think a couple other teams, but that's where things start to get sketchy for me. And then there was rumors that John Henry turned down another trade because they were paying part of the Devers. So that tells me if there was no drama, this trade doesn't happen, and that money was a factor, which I don't love for the Boston Red Sox. And I think that's fair.
I think the Giants fleeced the Boston Red Sox. If you want to say, hey, the money and what they're going to do, great. That's on the Red Sox now. Right. If we're talking just straight up whose team got better right now, obviously it's the Giants. There's no debating that. Craig Breslow now has, which we're going to talk about 6 weeks to make it right in Boston. Well, if he throws away this season, then I'm out. I'm out.
Right. Well, hey, if the playoffs started today, the Red Sox are in the dance. We'll save the standings. Actually, we should probably tell the people now we're going to save the standings for Monday because Rob's got something coming out on the channel, so stay tuned for that. But we are going to be live at Fanatics Fest. So if you're in New York, we'll see you over there. But there will not be a new episode Friday with the holiday and Fanatics Fest. So sorry about that. We love you guys. The standings will be on Monday. But yeah, I guess I'm excited to see the next chapter because Breslow can still come out as on top as ever. And I guess if I'm a Red Sox fan, you already allocated that money. So I don't care if it's the 8-year extension for Roman Anthony. I don't care if it's Luis Robert at the deadline. I don't care if it's the upcoming free agency. Like, you were going to spend that money. We weren't winning games. You better spend that money. And hey, maybe the Sox are going to be one of the fun teams at the deadline. So let's start talking some trade deadline. And it's brought to you by our friends at Best Western. That's where Rafi's staying right now because he couldn't have found a place yet. Today's episode is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it? Our guy Jolly Olive, Trev referenced him before. He just was at one in Omaha, the College World Series. Ping, ping. How about your guy Gage, Trev? 19 strikeouts. Wherever you're hitting the road or traveling, there's a Best Western there. They're going to take care of you. They're going to help you recharge, and they're going to get ready for whatever life has planned for you. Best Western just gets it. So whether you're traveling solo or with your pals or the entire roster, Best Western's got you. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Coach, where do we want to start? We want to start with some team needs because this is a tricky conversation. We debated talking about this last week. But we don't want ourselves to get into a cycle of, some of these teams in the middle right now, they might buy, they might sell. There's some stuff to unpack there. There's a few teams, and maybe this is our nice way to focus on the teams that have earned this conversation. Of the teams that are 100% buying and they're going to be adding to their team, it's just a matter of how much.
Yeah, There's a couple teams that are going to like be in the dance no matter what. I think the Detroit Tigers have proven that they're going to be there. I think they have some needs. I think the New York Mets are another one. I think they have some needs. If you're talking about what we have labeled here as top tier teams that like their playoff chances are extremely good right now. The Mets have a 97.7% chance. The Tigers are 99.3%. I believe they have a 9-game lead, 9.5 game lead in the Central.
Crazy.
As of today, and this is June 17th, the night of, a 9-game lead over the Twins. They are running away with it. So those two teams are in there. The Dodgers are a very curious team to me. Obviously, they're going to be in the dance as well, but I don't know how aggressive they're going to be. I think that has to be seen. Like the roster is still there. Yes, they need some pitching, but they also could get some guys back, and maybe that's all that they need. So they're almost not. And I got my Dodger hat on right now.
Yeah,
they're almost a team that I'm like, I'm iffy on them exactly how deep they're going to go, because they are one team that could just go and say, yeah, we want Sandy or any of the big name guys, but I can also see them just pumping the brakes and be like, we got a roster. Let's just let it get healthy. The Cubs have clear needs. The Yankees have clear needs. And those are teams that I think make up our top tier. Now on like the flip side, the teams that I think should be the top sellers at the deadline, I think there's teams that got to take advantage of what they have. And I think the Arizona Diamondbacks are at the forefront of that. Look, I know they got a good roster. I like this team a lot. They just haven't won enough ball games yet. So if they go on a heater here in the next 2 weeks, and maybe they make a different decision, but the expiring contracts that they have are immense. Like 6 everyday players on their team could go fetch a nice haul for them, and they can come right back in 2026 and jump back into competition again. I think they need to take advantage of that. I think the Orioles have a few pieces there that are no-brainer trades for me as well. And I also think that what team am I missing here? The Cardinals.
Right.
They're tricky, but they also have some players that could fetch a ton. And I think if those three really, really looked in the mirror and said, what are our real chances this year, they would consider themselves sellers rather than standing powder buyers.
I've been on this for a couple weeks now, and you called me out because it was too early, but the Cardinals are slowly coming back to earth, and the NL is going to sort itself. I think you're right. Like, hey, my Cincinnati Reds that I wrestle with every day of my life for whatever reason, they have to get in the mix in the NL Central. Right now, the Brewers are actually a game out of the wild card. They've put in their work, and they've become a part of the season, and the Reds aren't too far back. I just still think the Reds, and hell, even the Brewers, you're probably going to have to win the NL Central, and we've complimented the Cubs all year. Right now, the Reds are on a 83-win pace. Like, in the National League, that's just not going to cut it this year. Like, it's probably 90, which I'm still going to have to see a different level of baseball from the Reds. I guess you're right. And if we're talking about pieces available, and this maybe the conversation is you guys know your team better than us, because that's a Talkin' Baseball trademark. And I hate to say these words, but I think all of baseball should be rooting against the Diamondbacks. Because Trev, you're right. They have all of the pieces. If you're looking for corner infield, how do you like Gino, Eugenio Suarez, or Josh Naylor, like the righty third baseman, the lefty first baseman? Lourdes Gurriel, I think he's got an option for next year, so he could be in the mix. The pitching, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, like those are guys that impact playoff runs. Those are guys that can make playoff starts, and I know even though their bullpen has been a talking point for all the wrong reasons this year, they would have guys that could bolster other teams. That they're currently the only team that is kind of in no man's land. Like, I guess you could throw the Braves in the mix, because the Braves have been worse. The Braves are bad.
Yes.
That they are fully out of it, and nobody's talking.
The Braves are 8 games under 500, Jake.
Nobody's really talking about it, because, dude, that could be Marcel the Bear Ozuna. That could be some of their bullpen pieces. I threw a Sean Murphy thing out there because, dude, look at, Rafael Devers just got traded, and Sean Murphy isn't owed that kind of money. If you needed a catcher, that's a pretty nice contract. If they believed in Drake Baldwin, I know Braves fans don't love that concept, but again, what's coming up for this deadline? I think Murphy would be one of the biggest assets traded for, and the Braves could instantly retool what's looked like a lost year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people still think, oh, the Braves just started out so poorly. Like, they've been playing better ball. No, they started out 0-7, which would mean they're still a game under 500 since then. And maybe they go on a magical run. Again, we're talking this.
It's magic season.
June 17th is go.
Yeah.
It's it. It's now or never for a lot of these teams. I think my Twins are another one of these teams that, they're I think a half game out right now, but some injuries to core players like a Pablo Lopez, back end of the rotation's hurt, Royce Lewis again, that could force them into decision-making time, depending on how these next couple of weeks go. And like their schedules is pretty dang tough coming up here. If they, are 5 or 6 games under 500 over the next 3 weeks, then I think that we can see some of these bullpen pieces being moved. Because that's always the biggest talk is, okay, what bullpen pieces are going to be moved? And different teams want different guys for different reasons. So they think they could fix them or they fit their team makeup. I keep looking at the Diamondbacks right now. I mean, Shelby Miller's a guy that's done well for them out of the pen. And why wouldn't they want to trade him? Why wouldn't they want to trade him and get something? Take his success and put it into your organization for the next couple of years. It's going to be interesting. I don't know where we we're talking in generalities right now because I think that's kind of where we're at as far as relation to the deadline. It's hard to pin down specific trades at this moment. Maybe we should try a little bit.
I've got a couple things we can lock in on. I have an unfair Twins question for you. And I'll even, for the people, I'll prove that I'm not doing this just for BS, and I'll tell our social team not to clip this. Do you think like Correa or Buxton could be moved? Because I've heard people dream stuff up, but Buxton has now been part of the Twins org for however many years, and he's part of fabric there. You and Buck Daddy go back, and then Correa, like we just saw a big contract move, the whole Correa free agency, and I guess that's more so of the question for me because when Correa was part of Houston, he's part of the fabric and he is this organization that could you see that? Could you dream of that?
I cannot dream of Byron Buxton being traded. Okay. I think he is for $15 million a year, what he's owed for the next 3 years after this. Like he's just your guy. People love him in Minnesota, and when right, he is on a very small list of most talented ball players in the game. I mean, I don't think there's any denying that. I know people maybe don't put him on that tier very often because he's been injured, but when he's on the field and they're letting him do the things that he can do, like this year, he's got some of the best pop in the game. He's got some of the best outfield defense in the game, and he's like one of the fastest players in the game. Like he has it all. So I don't see them trading him. Carlos Correa, yes, 100%. I think they would very much entertain that if they could get someone to, take a majority of his salary with this trade. I think they'd be very, very interested in that because they have Brooks Lee, who I think they think is the shortstop of the future for them, and a guy that really looks the part when he's stepped in for Correa this year. Bat's come a long way this year as well, but he can absolutely pick it. And it's awesome. Like I haven't seen a lot of shortstops that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to watch this guy play. Carlos Correa is one of them. And if you haven't like watched him lately, like he's just so steady and good out there. But if they could get off his contract, I think they would. It's just, is there a team that's willing to go and do that for Carlos right now? Because I'm looking at it and he is owed the team option in 2029, but the next 3 years, Jake, 32, 31, 31. So I could see a team maybe taking on 20 of that.
Yeah, it gets tricky because the way Correa played last year, the 3 for 95 left or whatever it is, isn't awful. The way Correa's playing this year, and some of the injury stuff is crazy. But yeah, that was just honestly me being curious because I know we have a lot of Yankee fans that I know before the season they were dreaming of Correa at third, and
you know what? That would be awesome for baseball. It would be awesome.
Let's get away from that. Let's zoom in on a couple of these contenders and a couple of guys that are maybe locks to be moved, or we assume are locks to be moved. And that is brought to you by DirecTV. Today's episode is sponsored by DirecTV. Are you ready to experience baseball like never before? DirecTV is the ultimate destination for baseball fans, bringing you right into the heart of America's favorite pastime. Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. Picture this. Your team's star steps up, or maybe your new star, who you just got from Boston. With DirecTV's MLB coverage, you can watch all those thrilling moments. I know this has been huge for James and the artist formerly known as Baby James, because a lot of times we're watching the games, trying to put him to bed. DirecTV, it makes it as easy as possible for you. There's no satellite dish. You guys are baseball fans. DirecTV is your home for baseball, delivering the crack of the bat right into your living room. If you're ready to transform your baseball watching experience, head to directtv.com/JohnBoy or scan the QR code on the screen to learn more. Okay, Coach. Let's do some guys that we're pretty sure are getting traded.
Okay.
And we can sort through some of the contenders and start placing or thinking about it. Because this is where you and me get frustrated, because Sandy has actually had 3 straight good starts. I think Sandy's last 3 are 6 innings pitched. Maybe the light bulb's gone on, and we've talked about, hey, either way, the Marlins are going to get interest in that guy because he's a pitching lab dream. But for them to get value, they were going to have to see Sandy show something, and he might be marching into the break confidently. The problem is, if me and Trevor just being honest with you guys, literally every contender could use or make room for Sandy. So we feel bad hobnobbing around because, for whatever reason, the Cubs have been linked for Sandy for forever, and maybe that's what's going to happen. But you know who could use every team? The Dodgers. The Dodgers could trade for Sandy, and I would not be shocked.
The Tigers need somebody. I mean, I love my guy Cater Montero, but it'd be nice for them to throw Sandy in instead of Cater, right?
You think instead of doing the Tyler Holton opener with Cater, they'd rather go Sandy? I think you're right.
I do love watching that. You know that. It's one of my joys of baseball. But yeah, that's why it becomes difficult to do this show, a trade show, because yes, pitching is always in need. Everybody also needs more high leverage arms.
Right.
It becomes a daunting task. Wild card team for Sandy.
Oh, I like that.
Wild card team, because we could talk about all these teams. I think the team that's going to make the biggest play for starting pitching, and it might just be the Dodgers, but I'm gonna get away from that. The Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Where are they at right now in the wild card? I'm looking.
They're the second team. They got jumped by the Rays.
1.5 game lead. All the AL East teams are in.
You like that?
Now. Tampa Bay's got a 3-game lead. Toronto 1.5, and Boston there with a half game over Minnesota and Seattle. I think the Blue Jays desperately need someone at the back end of their rotation. Sandy doesn't necessarily mean back end, but they need more starting pitching depth. I would love for them to go out and get a Sandy, a Zach Gallen type pitcher, because I think that they have found a recipe this year, and they're getting length in the lineup. The bullpen has become a weapon for them, and it really wasn't so early on. It's the biggest need for them is rotation help, and they're a team that kind of soured for everybody, but I'm rooting for them this year. I don't know. They went out and spent on Vlad, and I think they're going to keep Bo and just give him the qualifying offer. And for them to go and do that and signaling to their fan base we're still in it, then I want them to go further, and I think Sandy or a Gallen makes complete sense for them.
Trev, I love where you took us, because I tend to agree. If you mention teams that could be just the wild card, the old Charlie from It's Always Sunny, it's wild card bitches, I think the Toronto Blue Jays nail that. I constantly run this through my head, and maybe I just need to do that less. Like maybe just go for a walk in the park, Jake. The Toronto Blue Jays coming into the season didn't know if they were going to keep Vladdy. They didn't know if they'd be in the mix. They've been in the mix for a while. They've extended Vladdy. They're going to be in the mix in the AL, and this is the other part of the NL conversation that I left out, that right now Arizona's in purgatory, but dude, if they get hot, they're like back. If they put up an 8-2, they're a part of this season. The Braves are not. They're so far out, but people are just scared to say it, and we'll see if they end up being right on that. The AL teams are so piled up around the wild card that Toronto's mindset, what you and I just talked about, I think they're absolutely going to be players, and I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's Sandy. I don't know if it's just any of the guys we think are going to be available. Taylor Ward, although your Angels are currently 2.5 out of the wild card. So that's where the American League just turns into a disaster class real quick.
Let's go to the Angels because I think that's silly for them not to go explore. Here's the thing. Here's the caveat. So let me play devil's advocate a little bit. Yes, they have some pieces that could absolutely fetch Kenley Jansen. Yes. You can go on and on. But what about a culture, man?
Oh,
like, what about a culture?
You're going there.
You have young players that you like.
Okay.
Like eventually you got to just like put some guys around them and finish a fucking season. Right?
Wow.
Or when is it going to happen? When are you going to finish the season? Great. Yeah. Kenley, Anderson, they might bring back some pieces, but like, can we just finish a season out? And like, let's try to stay in the running as long as possible so we can teach our young guys about culture and about what it means to finish 162 and like be in it. So that's where I think front offices have to weigh, what am I going to get in return? And then what does it mean for the culture of our organization? I know what Ron Washington wants to do. Guarantee that. How old is Ron Washington? Do you think he wants to trade for the future? Or do you say, hey, let's give it a run right now?
I think Ron's 122. I think
Ron's a lot younger than we think.
73.
Okay.
I think I would have been around it.
That's kind of what I thought.
He's still got the juice. That's what you're saying. Is he the oldest
manager in the game right now?
Oh, God. How old's, I'd say this with respect, how old's Bochy? And I know he gets hurt by
I bet he's right around the same.
The walking thing he's had going on, so I don't want to target him for that.
How old is Tito?
Tito, I feel like, has the opposite of Ron.
Oh, yeah,
I feel like Tito might have a sneaky... Oh, he just turned 51.
Bochy's 70.
Bochy's 70, okay. So Ron might be the oldest dog.
You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean for the culture of your org? When's the last time? I guess it was Shohei year. They didn't trade him, so they went for it.
Right, and that ended up backfiring a little bit. They ended up trading away prospects. That, dude, if you're the Angels, I understand what you are saying, but if I can get a nice haul for Taylor Ward, who's gonna turn 32 and he's become a really nice ball player, like Kenley, like I think they, who's my guy I can never give up on? Yoan Moncada. Like you've got
a nice year. Yeah.
You've got some nice deadline pieces there that I don't think the Angels franchise is going to be walking around mopey looking in the mirror like we didn't finish it again. Like I think
when does it get unmopey? When can you motivate guys?
I think
every single year you just trade away your players.
I think if you can get some nice pieces back, you win 75 games this year and then you win 85 games the next year and you add at the deadline. Like I just don't know what the realistic expectations for that team can be. Glad we didn't get sucked into pitchers there. Everyone can use Zach Eflin. Everyone can use Nick Martinez, the Heen Dog, Gallen, Kelly, Tyler Anderson.
Give me your landing spot. So I think this guy has been on. I think there's two players on Baltimore that everyone's talking about. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn's in a walk year, having a great year.
Yeah.
Most teams, like we talk about starting pitching, can use left-handed power in their lineup. But what about Cedric Mullins? Because I feel like he is a fit on so many teams. Is there anyone that you're like, they need him more than another team? And is it just the Phillies? Like, is the Phillies the right answer for that?
So we might have, and you know what I love, Trev, is we get some Cedric Mullins highlights. this could turn into an NL East bidding war because the New York Mets could use him as well. I guess the thing that I wonder if I appreciate enough or I don't appreciate enough, all I know is the Orioles-Phillies pipeline is open. Like, these teams have traded a handful of times the past couple years. We know that the Phillies are willing to pay the price tag. America's GM, Jim Bowden, put out a trade today that turned my head that was Cedric Mullins and Felix Bautista for, I think he had Mick Abel, but I mean,
to the Phillies.
To pick one of those young top Phillies prospects. That's a very Dombrowski trade. That's a very, for the Orioles who think of the game a little differently and it's not paying off this year, but if you can turn, this feels rude to a top-notch reliever, but if you can turn a reliever and a rental outfielder into a potential ace that we talk about these Orioles not having enough pitching, I could see something like that going down that I think it ends up being tricky, Trev, because every team could use Cedric Mullins. Like my Yanks probably don't need him. The Red Sox probably don't need him. But the Mets, the Phillies, they need him. I guess Dodgers are. I mean, dude, the Padres would kill for Cedric Mullins. The Padres
could
are
put
going
him
to
in
get
left
someone.
field, and that would be one of the most fun outfields of all time. Cedric Mullins, Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Hey, I know we're going whirly bird right now, and good. This is where we cook.
Good.
What the fuck are your Padres going to do? Because they're going to make a move, and they're going to swing. And like,
that is left field has been a hole for them.
Right.
They could go corner infielder DH route as well, like a first base DH type. So like Ryan O'Hearn fits for them as well.
Ryan O'Hearn. Go get both
O'Hearn
Ryans.
And Cedric Mullins.
Go get both Ryans.
Give him that 14-year-old catcher they have.
Right? Salas, our guy.
Here, he's 14. Have him.
You always have to circle them. The Padres have shown they're going to be in it, and I want to be, they're the gripping their fists looking at the Giants adding more. Ryan O'Hearn's going to get a price tag. The Orioles should clean up.
They should. Like,
make this chapter of your story the year we screwed up ended up winning us a title in 2 years. Because O'Hearn might be the best hitter available.
I just need to look at one thing.
Look up this one thing.
Okay.
I have another
Okay.
team that I think the people know that I believe in that's going to have a big one, but I'm interested to see what you're going to say.
Cedric Mullins, expiring contract. Ryan O'Hearn, expiring contract. Felix Bautista, a reliever. These are all expendable pieces. I'm sorry. You have to trade every single one of these guys, and you have to do it this year, obviously.
Right.
It's a no-brainer that all of these guys are going to get traded. They have to. And if the Baltimore Orioles don't do that, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Zach Eflin.
I know this for a fact from speaking to GMs. They do not like to package players.
Right.
They think the value is separating them. That's what they think. Packaging sounds fun. Like Jim Bowden, shout out. Like, I like the package deals, but I know that they don't like to do that.
Okay, I'm falling into an interesting combo here because we kind of talked about Toronto's energy. They're in. Their chips are on the table and they're stoked about it. The Padres, they're always in. It's kind of interesting. Like the Dodgers, if they don't end up all in on a deadline piece, they're okay. Like the pitchers they're hoping to get back, they've already built a special team that's gotten us to this part of the season. Even like you said with Detroit, like it's not what Detroit fans want to hear, but they've got a ton of young talent. They've got a ton of young pitching. Like on our needs page, I think Dalton put down like they could use a strikeout arm in the bullpen. Yeah, same. Like point to the team in baseball that doesn't need that. I think we've hit on a lot of the teams that are going to be hyperactive. The Mets and Phillies are wild cards to me because they can be. They can also not and be okay. Like there's still powers in the National League. The team that
they're going to be the Mets and the Tigers will be more very much specific with their needs, whereas other teams can we need a bat. We need this.
Right.
You know, we'll figure it out. Like the Mets, like they need a left-hander in their bullpen. So that's what they'll target. I think for the Tigers, I mean, look, if they could get a third baseman in there, it could work wonders for them. I think it's going to be, I think they'll get more specific.
The other team that I think when we hop on the mic and it's trade deadline and I think we've traditionally done a live stream through the deadline. Usually get the John Bino.
I think I was with the Mets Stadium last year.
Yes,
it was going nuts.
Were. I think when we do winners and losers of the trade deadline, I think Houston's going to do something. And I think they can win small or they can win big. The Houston Astros, just a reminder, now a 4.5 game lead in the West. Their offense is 20th in runs. That doesn't make sense to me. And they're going to get Yordan back, and Altuve has had a nice week. Like, they're going to get more there. Ryan O'Hearn would fit this team perfectly. If Brandon Lau comes available from the Rays, I think he'd fit this team.
They're the hottest team in baseball. Why would they? They're not doing that.
You don't think the Rays operate differently?
I think they operate differently than most teams, but trading away Brandon Lau in the midst of the hottest streak that you've had in quite some time, and they're top of the wild card, only 2.5 games back of the Yanks in the AL East. Nah.
They'll call up Carson Williams.
Call him up.
Call me up.
He's a shortstop.
He can play anywhere. That's what I've heard.
Myself.
He does.
Better.
Hands. I don't know. I think we're gonna walk away. Houston has some pitching depth. I think they're gonna look for one lefty bat. Like, could they be a sicko Josh Naylor type landing spot if Houston ends up? I don't know. I think we're gonna walk Cedric Mullins. We just talked about this. Like, that's another team he'd be fantastic on. I think Houston's gonna land in a good spot because they're a bona fide contender. They believe in what they do. They don't have a ton of needs that they can kind of focus on one thing that I think they're gonna end up doing well.
What's Jesus Sanchez's?
What's his deal?
Situation. Oh my God! I mean, he's got 4 years of service time, so 2 years of 6 or 7. Yeah, 2 years after this of service, and some of the stuff doesn't look great, but I think if you put him as a complementary piece in your lineup, like towards the end, I think that could be a great bet for a team like a Houston. Sometimes
it's nice to get out of your current situation and get a little change of pace. Let's Trev, Dalton was hyped about this. He put together some mock trades or concepts. Maybe, I guess he doesn't have the full trades, but I guess it's his current lean. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just give some Caesar thumbs whether we like it or don't like it.
Okay.
Number 1, again, Dalton Feely made this sheet. Eugenio Suarez to the Yankees. I would love it.
I know you like it. I don't think it's happening. I think he goes elsewhere. I think he's traded, and I think that he does not go to the Yankees.
The stadium itself wouldn't be a fit for him. I think the Yankees are going to focus on other needs that I half agree with you. A name we haven't talked about, Luis Robert, who actually has put together a little stretch here. He's got to put more on tape. Luis Robert to the Padres.
God, he fits the mold. He fits the mold. He fits in. If he was already on the Padres, but yeah, he looks like he plays for the Padres.
I would, if I had to pick right now, I'd say Mets. Steve, roll the wallet out there. You got to pay him. You don't have to give up a big price. And he could potentially go nuts for 3 months.
I like this one. I like the Padres to add an outfielder. I don't know if specifically to the Padres. I'm not sure, and so I guess I'll go thumbs down. I think he goes elsewhere, but I think he also gets moved.
Okay. Well, Dalton had Cedric Mullins to the Phillies. I think I think
Thumbs up for me. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
He's got an Aroldis Chapman trade on here. The sneaky part to Aroldis Chapman is pretty much every team would welcome him in because he still has one of the nastiest left arms in the league.
Remember when people every year Aroldis Chapman, he's done. I'm like, dude, he's a lefty that throws 100 miles an hour and gets down the mound. He's like a nightmare at bat. People, you have to realize there are some guys. I'm stealing a phrase from Jake.
Whoa.
Say that. They break the mold, okay?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be a pitcher in the big leagues until he doesn't want to be a pitcher in the big leagues. That's the bottom line, okay?
Hey,
so, yeah.
Top of your head, and this is a little unfair, and I'm going to actually look up some names.
Let's go. Come on.
Lefty relievers that you can name that you can guarantee me are better than Chapman.
Josh Hader. I want to say Tanner Scott. He's got flashes. I think he might be kind of on the same level at some time. I'll still say Tanner Scott though. That are guaranteed better than Aroldis Chapman. Lefty relievers.
I'd stop at Hader. Like I know Tanner.
Is that it?
I know Tanner Scott has earned the respect, and he had one.
I got more. Hold on, I got more. Okay. Danny Coulombe.
You're big game. You're going Coulombe over Chapman. That's what I'm saying. Right now, lefty relievers in WAR this year, which isn't a great way to measure them. Josh Hader, 1.2. Aroldis Chapman is number 2 with 1.1. Hobie Milner in the mix. Tanner Scott. Adrian.
If you can remember what Hobie Milner's famous for, I'll give you a pat on the back.
Well, he's got a funky windup. He fell off the mound, right? And he did something with Chris Rose? I forget.
Gabe Kapler went to signal for Hobie Milner, but he wasn't even warming up. I think he had a righty warming up, and he signaled for the left-hander Hobie, and he wasn't there. I believe that's what happened.
It's something like that. Other relievers on this list, Stephen Okert, Adrian Morahone. So I don't know. I know Chapman, kind of a bad guy.
That's crazy to think about because you figure there's got to be some other guys. Like AJ Puck probably enters the conversation.
Yeah, he's been hurt. Gabe Spire. Like Justin Wilson is still slinging it for the Sox. And by the way, he looks pretty good this year. Aaron Bummer.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, there was a moment this year where I was like, the Yankees' weakness is going to be a good lefty reliever. And then I was like, well, there's about 5 of them.
Yeah. Stephen Okert, shout out to him because he had a tough run with the Twins last year. I think he's doing a lot better this year. Theo Bar, another lefty. I'm just trying to name left-handed relievers.
Right. It's not that easy. No. Hey, what if I told you Nathaniel Lowe got traded to the Mariners?
I think that's not what the Mariners need.
Oh, okay.
Like, they need someone like set it and forget it. I know he's had those years maybe in the past, but it's not really happening this year. That's what I said. Like, how were they not in on this Rafael Devers discussion? That is the bat that they've been waiting for. 100%. What is this stat? Nate Lowe slugging 41 on low breaking pitches.
Yeah.
You know what teams aren't going to throw him? Low breaking pitches, dude. What's his overall stats on the year?
Know what's funny? I don't know if it's a Jolly Olive video or maybe it's just a Jimmy deep dive one day, but there's got to be something about.
He's hitting 227 with a 296. Don't give me the cherry pick 9th on low breaking.
Well, yeah, if you throw him a low breaker, it's getting popped.
Golly, I'm an idiot, but I know there's scouting reports.
I would love to know what I was trying to allude to, which I didn't land in a great spot, but there has to be some like playoff. Some guys that like had a good season, but they have stats that are like that it's like, okay, well, he's not going to see a low breaking ball the whole playoff, so he has a horrible series. Like, that just doesn't get in the complete 3-game scouting report. I don't know. That was nothing at the end of the day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Josh Naylor to the Brewers.
Like a super rowdy Tellez?
Kind of a super rowdy Tellez. I think Dalton's alluding to that Yelly would slide over to left field. A couple less DH days, you have Naylor DH.
Platoon, Hoskins, and Naylor possibility. I don't like this one either. I'm not a big fan.
I think this is underselling Josh Naylor. Like
I do too. I do too.
If you're a team that trades for Josh Naylor, I think he's like hitting third. Like he's ready to go every day. I was daydreaming the Yankees trading for Josh Naylor today.
Yeah, I was daydreaming. The Twins could use Josh Naylor on their team as well. A lot of teams could use Josh Naylor.
Everyone's rooting against
That's
the
again.
Diamondbacks.
Let's try to figure out like the best team for Josh Naylor.
Oh, okay. If we were Josh Naylor's agent,
is it the Giants?
It's the Yankees. It's the short porch, and it's a star for 2.5 months.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's
a good
easy.
One. I think the Giants could be sneaky in on him as well, and the Astros could be sneaky in on him as well.
Yeah, I actually him on the Astros. That would be. Short right field, bad MFer.
Oh.
Yeah. Slip Giordano to left, maybe. I guess, Trev, we got some DK bet the cycle coming up. I guess the only other thing that's on my mind is like Giants aren't done. If you're gonna do this, you're gonna be in on anyone.
I'd say so. I mentioned first base, but I keep forgetting they have that guy Bryce Eldridge that everyone's talking about. If they decide to pull that string, which I would do that if I was them, rather than go trade for someone for a couple months. Like, let's just bring our dog up. Let's let him get some of this experience. We just made the big splash. He's not going to be the big acquisition because we already did that, so it takes away a little bit of the pressure. So yeah, I mean, you could say. I guess they don't really need anything. I mean, they don't really need bullpen help. And maybe you could talk about like back end of rotation, but like their pitching has been the reason that they've done what they've done up until the point of the season. So the Giants could be one of the teams that's done.
They could add another bat. They've got room for another bat at first base or corner outfield. I think
if you bring up Eldridge, then that's gone. Devers is your DH. Chapman, Adames, Fitzgerald. Then you got Ramos and Jung-Hoo Lee and Yaz. I mean, you want to kick Yaz out and get a bully type outfield? I'm interested in that. How
about our guy Daniel Johnson? I like that we're a Daniel Johnson pod.
Big Daniel Johnson. You know what? I was watching the game against the Dodgers the other day and flipped it on. I was telling the story. Hits a homer.
Yeah. Should have struck out on the pitch before. Kirby Yates doesn't get the call. Hit the next one out, pal.
Love it, man.
That felt like payment for him putting in his dues for going to Mexico. He didn't get struck out on that pitch and he got a home run. Nobody cares. Let's bet the cycle with our friends at DraftKings. Use code JMBaseball when you sign up with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Trev, am I the leadoff hitter these days?
You're always the leadoff hitter.
I hate that for me.
We went 0 for 4 last week, just so you know.
Is that our first 0 for?
I think it is.
Damn.
It's first 0 for since April 9th.
Do you believe in do? Because I do. And I'll get us started off with an easy one. And sometimes that's what you need, Trev. When you're in a funk, just drive the ball. Just stay with it. Keep your hands back. Christopher Sanchez, 7'3". He's facing the Marlins. We're going 5+ strikeouts. We're just going to punch some tickets. We could get that by the 4th inning. Christopher Sanchez, 5 strikeouts versus the Marlins on Thursday.
Christopher Sanchez, a.k.a. Kevin Durant in spikes. I will go. This is my favorite one that we have for the double. Rafael Devers to homer in his first game versus the Red Sox, which will be this Friday in San Francisco. I cannot wait to see what happens. There's not going to be anybody throwing at him or anything like that, but it's just great drama. Like if he strikes out 3 times, like are people on the Red Sox bench can be like, fuck yeah. I don't know. Sounds like they like him.
It's going to be really interesting, right? Because, Cora lets you know how he's feeling.
It's Cora's deal. He's making $7 million a year. They haven't been to the postseason since 2021.
I think I've decided I'm back to being a Cora guy. He kind of dunked on the Yanks this weekend. I guess, but the players do that, Trev.
He's a player's guy. I should like him, but for some reason, well, I know the biggest reason, but
yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of, Dahl is feeling himself on this one because somehow the triple, and okay, for a triple, you got to earn it. The Diamondbacks to score over 9.5 runs at Coors.
Just themselves?
Just them. We're juicing it. We want some real numbers. That's Saturday at Coors Field. Snakes at Coors, that offense, saving the season so everyone can stop trading for their players. Let's go big.
And for the home run, speaking of homers, we got two big boys. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, both to hit a homer on Sunday versus the Orioles. Orioles trading away everybody. They don't care. Season's over. Cancun trips planned. All that good stuff. Judge, Stanton homers Sunday.
I love it. Come hit the cycle with us. And if you're a new person to DraftKings, they're where you need to be this baseball season. Because if you're new to DraftKings and you use code JMBaseball, you bet $5. If your bet wins, you'll score $300 in bonus bets on whatever it is. It could be homers, it could be overs, it could be total bases, pitch speed. Whatever it is you're looking for, DraftKings has it. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's promo code JMBaseball only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Coach, what do you got?
Last thing before we go. Give me your one.
Oh.
Kind of off the wall trade, but you think it might happen. I'll go first.
Perfect.
Put this on you right here at the end of the show.
Okay.
That's what I like to do. A little pressure.
Yeah.
Tried to build the Giants. I said they might not need anything. What about an interdivision trade and they steal one of them Diamondback pitchers to put into that rotation to really solidify it? Give me JP Martinez, my best friend, working with a Zach Gallen on the San Francisco Giants.
Okay. What do I need? Who's a playoff team that needs some thump? Ooh, I might have stumbled into a fun one. No, they've got a DH. I guess the guy that I feel like everyone should be talking about getting traded that nobody is Marcell Ozuna. But I need a DH spot open. So like I'm clicking around right now. You know what, Trev? I'll do this for you. Marcell Ozuna for half a year to the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, I love it.
I knew you would.
I love it.
I knew you would. I mean, they could use a little thump. Him putting the arm around Junior Caminero.
Him and Yandy, like, what are they going to do?
Oh, my God. That's some Platano power, Poppy. My God. I don't know. I think for me, Ozuna, I forgot about fake Ozuna in the stands. For me, Ozuna could easily be the best hitter traded. And if you have a DH spot open, put this guy in it. He loves it. He's about it. I don't know if I actually believe in Tampa, but a team is going to trade for him. The Braves are dead.
Okay. Good job, Pop.
Comment below. What did you like? What did you hate? Who's getting traded? What does your team need? It's going to be a big topic for the next month and a half or so. We love you guys.
Jake sucks.
See some of you at Fanatics Fest.
Who's the most complete team right now?
Right now? Detroit?
Everybody's got needs. Maybe.
The Mets?
I was going to say the Cubs, but I think they need some pitching.
Go Cubs.